I realized I didn't pack my fan on this trip, apparently. And I thought I had.
Mm.
Wow. Spirit fingers. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing today. But, hello. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes ouen. Et bienvenue à The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Lana, say something gay. Gay in the great outdoors today. We're just gonna, y'all are gonna have to deal with it for today. Sorry. I'm traveling. I'm doing my thing. I'm in gorgeous, sunny, wonderful Los Angeles currently. And because it's very hot and lovely here, I am drinking lots of water because hydration is of the essence of Hall. Shout out to Jade Essence Hall.
And hello. I'm still Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. I'm still in my same spot, not anywhere special, but special to me because
Not
it's
yet. Not yet.
Not yet, but it's still special to me. But I'm just drinking some water because hydration is important, as Logan says. And but one thing I will never be far away from, that is indeed my cup mug.
Mine is inside being washed as we speak. So I will have it for look over here, but I don't have it currently. So.
But you can be like me and get your cup mug at LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And we do ship domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And we do ship internationally. So there are no excuses. So friends, I'm looking at you. Get your cup merch, period.
Per indeed. Well, Lana, we are almost done with this season of France.
We are.
It is almost over. We have our last competitive episode before our live finale next week during DragCon, which will be very fun to find time to film. I'm just going to tell y'all up front, the finale reaction for France is going to be late. It's gonna be late, y'all. We are... so if you didn't hear, I talked a little bit about it in our All-Stars and our Mexico recaps. Go check those out as well. We are covering those currently because we are here covering most all things drag, which includes those as well as this and Canada and Philippines and other wonderful, fabulous things. But this coming weekend is going to be a little all over the place for us because Lana will be traveling. She will be at a convention doing gorgeous, lovely, singing beautiful things. Because if you didn't know, this woman is an incredible singer. Take it because you are, and you know you are. And then more related to the pod specifically, David and I are going to be at DragCon this coming weekend. Very, very excited. We're going to be bringing y'all as much of the real and the tea from DragCon as we possibly can. I'm incredibly excited. It'll be my second DragCon. I believe it's David's first. So I think it'll be very, very fun. But we are booked all this weekend between the three of us. And we are the only people covering France. So, so our France review is going to be up a little bit later next week, but we will be talking about the finale eventually. We just, we got life things going on and we're doing things. So we are here to talk about the semifinals, this absolute dumpster fire mess of a challenge episode. I got to be honest with y'all. I think it was interesting, and I think this is a great challenge on paper, and I'll talk about why. But first, before we do that, we do almost all things drag here. I already said that. Check the description below for where you can find our other YouTube channels, our audio podcast links, and where you can find us on Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to look over here for the franchises we're currently covering. So there's really, honestly, no workroom stuff this episode. Other than
didn't have time.
They literally didn't have time. Other than the mini challenge, which I am excited to talk about. But we've got our 3-part challenge this week. We come into the workroom and Preseo's gone. And I will say, I think it's interesting because even when David's not here, he still gives us his thoughts on episodes and things like that, which I'm hopeful we'll be able to get David and all three of us together for the finale. That is my hope. We're trying to do it. He's just a very, very busy man in the summer. But he was telling us, Lana, that Perseo was actually his favorite makeover.
Yeah. He liked the makeover.
Get it. I get it. I disagree personally, but I love that. I'm not mad at that. Because hey, love Perseo.
I like Perseo. I did like her makeover. But I like Ruby's better. That's just me.
Fair, valid, and completely understandable. So, yes, let's dive into the episode. Nikki comes in. We get a mini challenge, and it is one of my favorite mini challenges, I think, globally. I gotta be honest. The Weakest Heel with Lova La Diva. Lova La Diva's back. I don't know what it is. There is just something I love so dearly about Miss Lova La Diva, and I'm so happy that now 2 seasons in a row they brought her back to do this because she really does look like the woman from The Weakest Link. The original one, not Jane Lynch, because they did reboot it in the US. But Jane Lynch is good.
She's really good. I enjoy her on the show.
She's really good. But I just love the eliminate. Like, it's just so good. The way she does it is so good. And I love the whole like parody that they do of this too, where it's just like name foods that start with a C. Right. Name times between 2 and 3. Name lip sync songs from the first 2 seasons. Like, it was so good.
I love that. I love it. It's so good. And I do love how it's just like dumb, like I said, dumb questions, just silly things. But my only thing this season, I was very sad. I was very sad about one thing. Nobody said Shaka Khan.
I know. No one said Shaka Khan. Because it was Keiona last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, that doesn't surprise me.
Keiona and Mami Wata both were like, Shaka Khan. It's like,
are we surprised by those 2 queens? Nope. No. Are we also surprised that the current top 5 we have didn't say it? No.
No.
One of them definitely shouldn't have been saying anything about any of that. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We will talk about it.
I want everybody. I want one person at least per season to be like Shaka Khan.
If I ever were to do anything related to The Weakest Link, and I didn't know an answer, I would just say Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Like, absolutely. That is the right answer. If you don't know what the answer is, the right answer is Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
So, hello. Like, but it ends up coming down to everyone loses a round except for Ruby.
Right.
And then we end up with the final 2 being Lula and Ruby. And Ruby just loses 2 rounds back to back and Lula wins. And I was like, oh, this took up like 20 minutes, but honestly, I wasn't mad.
So good. I loved it. I love seeing Nikki standing next to
just being there.
And she's like, oop, nope, wrong. Oop, nope, eliminate. Like, it's just like
eliminate. I
just loved it.
I love. Shout out to Lova La Diva. We love Lova.
Yes.
I would love to see her again for something. France All Stars. I think she is a lock for France All Stars when they do it.
Work.
And I would like to see it. But yes, Miss Lula wins the mini challenge. She does win something, which we will talk about later. But Lana, we got to dive into this 3-part Maxi challenge bullshit. So the phone keeps on ringing, and we start with the first challenge being everyone has the same materials, design this wig, style this wig. I'm not all that mad at this.
Me either.
Because like designing, I feel like this is a very essential skill that queens should know how to do. Even if they don't do it regularly, I feel like they should still know how to do it.
Right.
And so I really liked that was part of the challenge. We then get the second part of the challenge being like, hey, go back into the workroom. You have an hour to prepare for the roast of Keiona. And I was like, Keiona's back. The fact that Keiona has been will be on 3 out of 8 episodes this season is iconic to me. Or no, 4. She's literally been on because she made a cameo at the start of episode 1.
Yeah.
And then she was here for the talent show episode 2 with everybody else.
And she's
in this episode, and obviously
she's stepping down. I cannot wait.
The thing I am most excited. I am so excited for her step down look. That is the thing I am most looking forward to next week.
So amazing.
So excited. So excited. So excited. But then after they do the roast, we get another call. Hey, go back into the workroom, and you're going to prepare in an hour a girl group number.
Yeah.
Here's what I have to say about this whole thing. I think on paper, this kind of like drag roulette challenge, I think something like this could work. I don't think that the 3 challenges they gave them were the absolute best to accomplish that.
Right.
Because I do like the design a wig, and I do like the do the roast. I just don't love the girl group unless you do the girl group first. If you do the girl group first, then ring, ring, go design your wig. Ring, ring, go do the roast. I think that would have been better. I also would have loved to see the girl group be swapped out with something improv based, because we haven't seen that on this season. We only got it during Snatch Game. So, or even if it was just like a short little monologue, like something acting challenge related. Obviously, like don't memorize a full fucking scene, but give each girl a monologue to learn and just do like full on acting class, present the monologue. Like, I think that could have been something that could have been a really good addition too, because we did already get a girl group performance episode 1. So personally, I didn't need to see it again. I wasn't mad at it, but they didn't have enough time to execute it in the way that I think any of them would have wanted to.
Agreed. I agree. I think that it was just a lot of, it was so chaotic, and it was, I don't think they really was able to just give the best performance that they possibly could give. Yeah, they had an hour to learn the song and come up with choreography, and it was just so chaotic to me. I honestly was like dazed and confused watching this whole thing. Like, it was just so much. It was so much to take in at one time that I was kind of like, okay, what am I watching? But I agree. Like, on paper, it's fine. It probably could work. It just didn't work with this. It was a lot.
Shuffle some of these challenges around, and I think this is a phenomenal challenge to have right before the finale. Like, on paper, I think this was such a great challenge. I just need the actual components of the challenge to be a little mixed around.
Okay.
Because I think, honestly, if you take the last episode and it's a drag roulette with all of the other things that you couldn't really fit into the season, I think that's great.
Okay.
But I guess we could just go.
There's nowhere to do but go into Runway? It because that's exactly what happened.
Literally. Boom. And thank God I can finally say that Nikki Doll is the best dressed of the week again.
Again, finally. Although this guest judge is trying to come for her gig with this big old exaggerated peplum skirt.
Oh, yes. Right. I forgot her name. I'm looking it up really, really, really quick. Diane Kruger.
Diane Kruger is coming for the gig because, baby, she is like Work with this dress, giving her heart hips and making it's
the shape of this gown is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
I love it.
And then the other guest judge, the artist,
Panayotis Pasco, I believe is how you say his name.
He looks really good too. That's a good look. The guest judges came to eat up. I'm
gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Overall, though, this is the best dress the entire panel has looked all season. Because I actually will say I really like Daphne's look. It's giving real drag for me, with the different wig, with this kind of like shaggy mullet wig that I really like, this kind of like side piece situation, the sheer black with the just bra and panty underneath and the boot. Like, honestly, this is the most, if this is what she was trying to go for and doing like more like drag looks, I think she finally hit the nail on the head for me.
This wig is...
I liked last week's too, but this one for me really feels it.
This wig is awful for me. Like, I can't do the wig. It's just a hot mess. Everything else is fine. I just don't like that wig. Like, I really want her, like, if she would have did the slick pony like she had last time with this look, I would have been like, yes, this is a good look. This is all together a good look. But this little shaggy, and it looked worse close up. Like, ugh. I don't like the wig. But everything else is fine. Kitty looks fine. I like
Kitty's denim ensemble.
Ensemble. I like.
He's been doing a lot of denim this season. This is like his second or third denim look.
Third, actually, because last week was denim. The week before was denim.
He's really channeling his inner denim.
He really likes
denim. It's from Montreal, and they speak French Canadian.
Right. So
I really think he was channeling some
denim. Absolutely.
Who we will hope to be interviewing at DragCon LA. So, but let's dive in. We're going to talk first about our wigs, the wigs, and the look. Category is haute coiffure, which I thought was the cutest pun name of the season. I really enjoyed it. Not gonna lie, really enjoyed it. But yes, let's dive into wigs. First up, Lula Straka.
I think this is a very good wig. I really like what she did with this wig, making it an updo, giving us the different colors interwoven in between each other. I thought the wig is the most important part for me because that's what the theme was for. This dress is not my favorite. I don't think that I really like the dress that much at all. But I do like the wig, and I like what she did with it. Her makeup is stunning. Yeah, I think it's a good wig. It's a good wig.
Yeah, I actually think this was my favorite of this challenge. I think for me, she would have won the challenge because I think just the way that she took these like silver blonde streaks and kind of just brought them into the wig, into this updo is very, very nice. I really love the way that the crystals come down onto the forehead too. I think that effect was really, really nice. And then with the look is on the more simple side, but I really like that she's taken and done all of these black accessories. We got the black glove, we got the black shoe or the black tie on the shoe. I love this like soft pastel pink color we've got going on. Like it worked for me. It worked for me.
Okay.
So next up, Ruby on the nail.
Oh, we're supposed to be giving just vague things.
Yeah.
We gave full on things. Okay, my bad. I started it and you finished.
It's fine. It's totally. We can give a little bit more in depth. I'm not worried about it.
I don't really have any more in depth from what I said.
Okay.
So. Gorge. She looks beautiful.
Yeah, this was really solid. The garment, I will say I like more than the wig itself. But overall, not a bad showing from Ruby here. Misty Phoenix.
I didn't like this wig or this look.
No. Sorry. Next. Le Philippe.
I didn't like this wig. I don't think she did anything with it. I think she just left it and put a streak in it and called it a day.
This part of the challenge is, for me, the sole reason why Philip didn't win this challenge.
Mm.
The dress is actually really cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is the main reason I think she didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
And let's up Leona.
I actually really like what she did with this wig. It's so good. It's you like, I want that wig. It's so good.
I am so happy that Daphne called her on her bullshit in this episode and was like, no, give up this false modesty. I was like, thank you, Daphne. Thank you very much. And we'll talk about other critiques she received later on, because I was saying the judging panel is on one this week, and I love to see it. Thank you. Thank you very much. But they are then told to go back into the workroom. You have an hour to prepare for the roast of Miss Keiona. And Lula, for winning the mini challenge, gets to pick the order. I didn't pull the looks because literally everyone is in the same thing except Philip put on a headpiece.
Right.
Which I think is probably the original headpiece she had for the look that she was going to present. So I just put a photo of Keiona because I just love seeing her. And she looks gorgeously casual in the best way, and I loved it. But I thought overall, honestly, Lana, the roast was not bad.
It was all right. I think I laughed maybe once or twice throughout the night. It was okay, though. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't like, and I felt like a lot of stuff, maybe personally, I just didn't get because I'm not French. And so I don't like to judge based on stuff that I might not understand, because they seem to enjoy it and laugh a lot about it. So I'm like, could be just a cultural thing. I just don't know French.
Right.
That's just me. So it is what it is. I'm not going to say it was bad, because they seem to enjoy it and laughed a lot. We can tell when something is really bad when even the panel isn't laughing, even if I don't understand what's happening. If the panel's not even laughing, then we know it's probably bad. But they seem to enjoy it. They laughed. I thought it was good. I liked the pace of this. I really did enjoy the pace because everybody was kind of just like moving, and it didn't take long. And like I said, I was very much in a daze of confusion throughout this whole thing, because I was like, what am I watching? But it was, for me, it was just a lot happening at one time. And I'm still kind of exhausted because of lack of sleep from the night before. So I'm still trying to get my brain to process it. So when it was trying to process all of that, I was kind of like, okay, what am I watching? What am I doing? Saying all that to say this, I thought the roast was a good pace. It was enjoyable to watch. I did get some of the jokes. I did laugh, and I thought it was a nice touch to add to this whole marathon of things to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think for me, there were 3 major standouts. And then even within that, I think the one person that I laughed at the most, honestly, was Philip. And I'm really happy. And I'm happy I got to watch it twice, because I watched it yesterday and then I watched the roast again today before we recorded. And I'm really happy that I watched it twice, because I was able to pick up a little bit more of the nuance of some people's delivery. And I will say, I think I finally get Philip's comedic delivery style. I finally actually get it. I thought for me, she was the best in the roast. When she came up, it was talking about, the funeral of Keiona. She had a lot of really, really funny, dry jokes. My favorite joke she said, though, was Lula is proving that drag truly is inclusive. Now even hobbits can do drag. That was funny. And in a similar way, because I thought Philip closed the show really well, I thought Lula really stole it opening the show. She was my second favorite by a very small margin here. When she started with, we're honoring a queen who's so talented, gorgeous, stunning, wonderful. Unfortunately, Paloma has already, gone on, so we're stuck with Keiona. Like, that's funny. That's funny. I thought it was a really strong performance. I thought Ruby was really good too. She had some singers in there. Misty was just kind of mean. She didn't really get the entire situation of the roast, and technically speaking, her delivery, I think, was the worst because she didn't give enough time to let jokes land properly. She said a joke, the judges would react, and she would jump immediately into her next joke because she was nervous, because she wasn't confident in her abilities, and it impacted her.
Right. It was. I agree. And I will say this is the second time I think this week on a drag race program that we got a reference about a hobbit or a character, because that happened in Mexico too. But yeah, it was still a good time, and I enjoyed it. So I'm glad that we got to do that, and we got to see Keiona. So work.
I'm always happy to see Keiona.
Absolutely.
I will say, because Leona was the only one we didn't discuss specifically in the roast. Keiona was perfectly fine, or not Keiona. Leona was perfectly fine for me. She had this weird vocal inflection the whole time that I thought was a really strange choice, and I didn't really find her super funny. This was the challenge where I was like, okay, cool. I know who the bottom two is. So
yeah, at this point, it became obvious.
It became very, very obvious for me that it was going to be Leona and Misty in the bottom. Even, I will say, with the girl group as well, I think some things shifted ever so slightly. Because I actually thought my favorite performer in this was Philip. I really liked what Philip did here. She brought like a very campy, funny sexiness to the performance of Sekue, which I think was a really cute song. I wish they had more time to actually do real choreo.
Right.
And even the judges were saying, even when she was off on the choreo, it still worked kind of, because she was like it felt intentional. Which I know it wasn't, but it felt, she sold it really well for me. And I will say, I think Misty was one of the other best performers here.
Absolutely.
And I think she has the best outfit by far for me. This is my favorite thing Misty has worn this season. I gotta be honest.
That's your favorite thing.
Well, this and the Medusa are my two favorite things from Misty this season. Just because, like, I love this hair on her, and then this bodysuit with all of the black mesh cutouts, and then all of this fire all around it, all the striping. Like, it's just so, so good. I also love that Lula had to wear a yellow wig because Leona is the only other person with any yellow.
Right.
I'm like, girl, you didn't bring anything red or orange. All right, girl. But I thought overall, you know what? These girls did the absolute best that they could with what they were given in this scenario.
Absolutely.
So
I agree. I feel like they gave them an hour. They pulled out what they could pull out in an hour. And I thought it wasn't, and I was like, I was entertained. It was fine to me.
Yeah. We had some drama, though, when they were putting things together, because Misty and Leona were going at it a little bit.
I mean, at that point, I could see Misty's point, Leona's point at that point, because they were like, Misty, you go choreograph. She was like, okay. And then she asked them, what should we do? And they were like, well, let's do a shake, shake, shake. She was like, no, that's too basic. They're like, okay, what if we did something like this? And like this. She was like, no, that's not right. I'm like, you asked them what they should do. And then when you tell them, you're like, no. And so they're like, well, then you do it. Then she went to her, well, I don't want to do it. I'm not choreographing. Y'all figure it out. I'm like, you can't do that. If you go, girl, whatever. But girl. But
no.
I think it was more of the stress of it all.
Yeah. Definitely. And then, as if that wasn't enough, then we also have the hair runway that we got teased last week. So, category is Chevalier Couture, hair, situation, garments.
Mm-hmm.
First up, Misty Phoenix.
I thought this was gorgeous. I'm gonna be honest. I thought this was so gorgeous. I like that she had um the red ombre hair as her trim on her outfit.
Brief thoughts, Lana.
Brief thoughts. I like that.
Cool. I was like, we gotta have something to say and look over here.
You're right. Yeah.
My favorite look of the night, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna add this. Her girl group look that we just saw and her Medusa are my 3 favorite looks Misty presented this season.
Oh.
So, yeah, this was my favorite. I love this look.
Cool.
Ruby on the nail.
I like it.
Is that all?
Yeah. I'm gonna remember brief.
Yeah. I think this is really fun. It's a little bit different. I wasn't expecting something like this, but I think it was really executed really, really well for me.
Good.
Lula Strega.
I hated it.
Really? Okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just fine for me, personally. But Leona Winter.
This is gorgeous.
Very lovely look. And I will say, while we are here on this look, I do really appreciate Kitty for calling her out for using braids. And the way that, I will say, the way that he went about it as well, I thought it was the right way to go about it. And I really appreciated his tact here in discussing, why obviously it's a little like it's not great to have, braids in the base of this wig. There are thousands of other ways that this wig could have been made.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about this. Because I feel like, yes, cultural appropriation is something that people are doing and not owning up to it. And my only issue is because I know what she did in her past. That makes it even worse for me.
Yeah.
But there is the such thing as cultural appreciation. And I feel like this outfit is beautiful. And it, like, I don't think having the braids and the dress and the things, it's perfectly fine and all of that. I do wish she would have not put the braids in her hair. But the whole wig was braids. So, because even when she took the headpiece off, it was a fully braided wig. And so I was like, okay. Like, you really could have just slick back pony and into that headpiece.
Just slick back bun. Like that exact style, just not braids.
Not braids. And it would have been, but I think she was trying to go with the whole braided look at the dress and then make the hair braid. Makes sense. I feel like
it does.
It makes sense. Like, I feel like the hair makes sense with the outfit that she's wearing. So for that, I don't want to say she was culturally appropriating. I feel like maybe it just made sense with the garment. But I understand where Kitty was coming from. And it is, and I know some people are like, why? It's just hair. It's just hair. It's not just hair. And that's where people need to understand too, Black people, it's not just hair. And all we're asking is for other cultures to respect that it's not just hair, and that it's something a whole lot more than hair. And when you do it and all of a sudden it's fashion, but when we do it, it's ghetto, or it's not professional, it's not appropriate. But when you do it, it's fashion. Oh, it's just hair. And it's like, well, how come when we wear it, it can't be fashion and just hair and professionals and things like that? And I know a lot of people who maybe in France don't maybe not deal with the same thing that we do here in the US, and about how it is, we literally have to have the Crown Act as a law for us to wear our naturally growing hair, how it grows out of our head to work, and it won't be considered non-professional. And so then when we do braid it, because it's naturally our hair growing out of our heads, and we put it in braids so we can protect it, it's no longer, it's just a whole lot. It's a whole lot. And I feel like I'm very mixed on this. Do I feel like she culturally appropriated the whole style with the braids? A little bit, but it makes sense with the garment that she's wearing. So I'm like,
it's a very, there's a lot of gray area regarding this. But I will say also, yes. And what I will say as well, to bring context to it, because I saw some people talking about this as well, Leona has done a lot of, and I don't follow her, I'll be 100% honest and just say I don't follow her on social media. But from what people have been saying, she has been doing her best to, given obviously, the whole blackface situation that came out during this season, as well as this moment that we see on the show. She has done a really good job about trying to educate herself from what people have been saying, and really is trying to take this as a learning and a growing experience to understand, what that line is between appreciation and appropriation. And from what I understand as well, and if people have other context, please let us know in the comments, because I would love to know. And I'm not passing definitive judgment on Leona here. It's not my place to, point blank in the period. But it seems like she is trying to learn more from Black people regarding, the line between appreciation and appropriation. And if that is the case, and she actually is taking those steps to grow, then I am happy to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Same. Yeah. But it's still a beautiful garment.
It's still a beautiful garment. I will say that much. Yeah, it's a beautiful garment for sure. It's a beautiful garment. And last up, Le Philippe.
The focus is supposed to be the hair, and baby, the focus is the hair.
Naughty Morphosis is somewhere quaking. Did you see that from the pit stop?
No.
Oh, I'll send you the photo. Oh my goodness. It's so good. This is a really, really cute look.
Mm-hmm.
I like this from Philip. I really do. But that is that. We'll talk more about the looks over on Look Over Here as well. But we get our results, and we find out that the winner of this week's challenge is Lula Strega. Yay!
Love that.
I will say, for me personally, I think this was probably the right overall choice.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think she would have been first in the wig, second in the roast, third in the challenge.
Mm.
And the other person that I think I really would have had up in contention for this was Philip, actually.
Mm-hmm. But she was last in that wig, though.
I would say she was fourth in the wig, because I didn't like Misty's. I didn't like Misty's at all.
Oh, yeah. Both bad.
But yeah, I would say she was fourth in the wig, first in the roast for me, first in the girl group for me.
Mm.
And then when it comes to Ruby, I thought Ruby was probably third in the wig, third in the roast, and probably fourth in the girl group. There's a lot of gray area with this challenge. I think the one person that overall performed the best in all three challenges was Lula. So I think the win is very deserved in that regard. I maybe personally might have given the win to Phillip, though. I'm not going to lie, just because I think the moments where she really stood out, like the first part of the challenge was not great. Everything else was spectacular from Phillip in this episode. Whereas I thought Lula's runway was definitely the weakest of the week. And so I'm like, are we including runway in the critique? Because if we were including runway in the critique, or the hair runway, if we're including that as part of this challenge, then I think I would have given it to Phillip. But if we're basing it strictly off of the three challenges we saw, then I would give it to Lula. But that's just me personally. I don't know if I think you agree with Lula probably winning.
Yeah, I agree with Lula winning.
Cool. Party, party, party. Ew. And so we get Lula as our winner. We get Ruby called safe, and she's going to the final, as is Lula. Yay. Wonderful. Gorgeous. And then we get the announcement that Phillip is also in the finale. Yay. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm really growing to really enjoy her as the season has gone on.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm fine. French fans in the comments, I see y'all now. I see what y'all are saying, and I see it. So, I'm liking Phillip. But that does mean that we end up with a bottom two of Leona and Misty, which definitely was the correct choice. Definitely.
Even though Leona's wig was good.
Her garment was really good. And again, if we were, I think even if we're factoring in the hair runway, I still think I would have put Leona bottom. But we get Leona and Misty lip syncing to Illusion Noire by Jean Maz. They finally gave Misty a song she couldn't stump to.
Right.
And that's really what cost her, because I do think Leona gave a great performance.
Yeah. I thought Leona was very engaging and kept my attention, and Misty
Absolutely.
couldn't perform it like she wants. Like it wasn't a song with, like you said, she could stunt and she can do all the things that we know Misty can do. And she didn't know how to park and bark. Like she wasn't giving them. But I think Leona actually just won this one fairly outright.
Yeah. I don't think Misty did bad.
No.
But Leona really just, I will say, despite all of everything that's gone on with Leona on this season, at the end of the day, she is a very, very strong drag entertainer. Like that I will never say she's not. And I'm happy that we got to see her lip sync at least once this season, because it really proved that exactly. I thought she sold it. She sold the emotion. They gave her a really good ballad. This is probably one of the best individual lip sync performances we've seen this year. I gotta be honest. Like, I think it was a really strong performance from Leona. So that does, plus obviously track record. Misty's been in the bottom a few times. She hasn't won a challenge. Leona has a challenge win. So that does mean that Misty is cut right before the finale. I'm personally not all that mad at it. And that is that. Going into our finale next week with our top four of Lula, Ruby, Phillip, and Leona. Lula's the only person to not place in the bottom this season. And we have, for the first time in a hot minute, we have a finalist without a single challenge win. Because it feels like Phillip won a challenge, but Phillip never won a challenge.
Never won.
So, well, we've got our live finale next week. I think they just filmed it earlier this week, which is very exciting. I'm excited to see another live finale from France. I think that'll be very, very exciting to see. I hope that they can live up to how good the season 2 finale was, because it was a really, really great finale. So
it was.
Before we go, Lana,
Mm-hmm.
I do have a draft update.
Okay.
Because we're now down to me and you, and we are now even.
Ooh.
Because I lost Misty, so we both have 2 team members going into the finale.
Yep.
Realistically, I think I've only got 1 shot to win, but I think you've got 2. But you're sitting at 60.5 points, and I have 65 points. So we are, whoever wins the season is going to win the draft for us. So I love a close draft. I think this is very fun.
Too. Me too.
I'm excited. But with that being said, Lana, I have a question.
Yes.
Who do you want to see win season 3 of Drag Race France?
Lula.
Okay.
And I'm saying Lula for the fact that, number one, she's just been doing so good. But the fact that I picked her like literally she was the last choice in my draft, I would love to see her prove everybody wrong who slept on her.
I agree. I see that. I understand that.
And who do you want to see win Drag Race season 3 of France?
I honestly think, even with Philip not having a challenge win, I think it is a 3-horse race, given the fact that we know that the French public are incessantly rooting for Philip. And I'm really happy to see that from them. However, I am going to say Ruby on the nail, because I really just think she has had one of the best redemption arcs we've seen on a Drag Race season in a long time, if not ever. She really came from completely struggling at the start of the season to dominating the back half of the season, honestly, in a kind of Trixie Mattel style track record run from this season. And I think if I'm looking at the person that I think is the most well-rounded, and also someone that we haven't had as an archetype of a winner of Drag Race France, I think Ruby on the Nail hits it on the nail. So
I wouldn't mind that either. I'm going to be that mad at that.
And I'm going to be honest, I also would not be mad if Philip won.
All right.
Because I think Philip has been so incredibly consistent this season. And with how much support she has seemingly from the French public, I could see it happen. We could get our second winner without a Maxi Challenge win. And I think this one, more than Electra Bionic, I think would be incredibly deserved. So, and I just think with everything going on with Leona, they're not crowning Leona. I don't think it's happening. But that is that. Thank you for joining us for our recap of episode 7 of Drag Race France. We will be back sometime in the near future to talk about the finale of Drag Race France. I'm very excited to see all the girls back. It should be a very, very good time. Let us know down in the comments below. Who do you want to win this season and why? Make sure to check out our Look Over Here episode where we talk a little bit more in depth about all of the looks from this episode. Subscribe, like, and share on your way out. Thank you so much for joining us. Check the description below for where you can find our audio podcast links, all of our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, as well as where you can find our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow the 3 of us, or there are only 2 of us. I'm so used to saying 3 that my brain just went on full autopilot. You can follow both of us down below as well, and you can get your merch, including but not limited to Cup Mug. It's over there. Yay. And with that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye.